Did you see the Maine debate, more specifically the two women who were out of their depth? Oh, you mean that, like, not very mentally present woman who was allowed up there in the debate stage? Yeah, that was pretty bad. Seems like really, really cruel to have let her go up there. At some point, you just have to say no and be the bad guy.
I believe they called it pork bellying. By cutting out the pork bellying from all the bills, I'm sure that would save a lot of money as well, but...
All right, David Custer.
The full video on this. I feel like they just set her up for a humiliation ritual. They let the president up there all the time. Yeah, well, people voted for him. What was she asked? Well, they're doing the DNC convention business for who replaces Graham Plattner. See, they're doing this. They're doing a four-way debate, but they've split it. The people who have signed up to replace Graham Plattner into two groups. Here's the real group with people who have a real chance. But then, rather than tell people no, they have a separate group over here with people who have no chance, and they have I'm just gonna pitch a ball here. I'm assuming a trans lady up there, who seems to be, at the moment, is getting a lot of flack online for just have been let up there, basically. And I feel like at some point somebody should have said no. You know, like I think she's just like a random civilian. I don't think there's any like political background there. Cleveland got put at the kids' table. Yeah.
I think that Graham did the best was talked about fighting against the healthcare industry and the prescription drug industry to make sure that people in this state and this country had affordable, quality healthcare. Nothing else matters if you don't have a good healthcare.
Nirav Shah.
There are a lot of areas where Graham's policies and mine overlap. One that I think is particularly relevant this week.
We like him. We want Troy Jackson to win. It seems like he's going to win as well. Let me see if I can find this. Apparently, people mentioned his name the most in statements of intent within the elected delegates for the Maine DNC. His name was far and away mentioned the most. A recent poll also shows that he's slightly edging out Collins, which is pretty impressive considering the fact that he's not even like running yet to replace Plattner. I mean, he hasn't been picked yet to replace Plattner, so.
$1 million or whatever, we've lost a lot more than that in what she's given up. And that's the point, is that, you know, being the appropriations chair, she should have been able to stop ICE. She should have been able to stop so many of these things. And she wasn't willing to, because she'd rather go along with the Trump administration and make it harder for everyday working class people. All across the state, people are having a hard time to pay for health insurance, prescription drugs, child care, nursing homes. I mean, you name it. And you know, Senator Collins has done nothing. Actually, when she talks about bringing money into the hospitals, how much more money did she take away from the hospitals in the big, beautiful bill? I mean, that is what the problem is she won't stand up for the average working class people in this state.
Let's move on to what happened in Biddeford a few days ago when an ICE agent shot and killed a young Colombian immigrant.
Anyway, the point I was getting up to right now is that the kids' table debate actually has more views than the one with Troy Jackson. See 17K versus 13K. And conservative media is just obsessed with the lady. I just feel like they shouldn't have let her go up there, you know? Like, I understand anyone can pitch their hat in the ring or whatever, but at some point, a paternalistic DNC individual, and you know they love their paternalism when it's not moral. You know, they normally love their paternalism. Somebody should have been like, let's take a back seat. Yes, this is what I was referring to. How many times each top candidate for Maine Senate is mentioned in statements of intent from prospective Democratic delegates, where Troy Jackson is far and away the highest up there, you know? So that's good. Maine's delegate nomination process explained, blah, 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 boring, boring, boring. Give me the video.
Troy Jackson campaign. Right now, the Maine Democratic Party is working in overdrive. This delegate process is unprecedented, and folks are working their tails off to make sure that it's transparent and as inclusive as possible. The Troy Jackson team knows that our movement, the movement that you've built, is strong. We have hundreds of volunteers, and our team is working around the clock. We also know that Mainers are demanding change, and that's what this campaign is all about. I want to take a few minutes and walk folks through what the next few days will look like in some detail. This is new for all of us, so it's important that we get on the same page so we can be effective. At the county caucuses, attendees will be electing delegates to the state's nominating convention. Each county can elect a set number of delegates. It is absolutely...
I've been noticing the term middle class has fallen out of use, and they're now using working class more than ever. Well, that's because the middle class was always ephemeral, right? The core of the capitalist dynamic is between the owner and the worker. Middle class was always like an abstract or arbitrary, like, oh well, they're the working class, but they're doing all right. You know, they're doing pretty good. This exists. It's a real thing. There's definitely a difference between being poor in a subsistence level sense and being like what we conventionally call middle class. But it's not a fundamental element of the dynamic. It doesn't really describe the power relations present, you know? Fundamental, super tight t-shirt. Actually, this is a well-fitting t-shirt, I think. Traditionally, t-shirts are meant to fit like very close to the body. Because they're like undershirts.
Critical that we elect as many Troy supporters as possible. To help make sure we're in a strong position, our campaign will be creating what we are calling slate cards. These cards will be a list of Jackson supporters that we want to concentrate our support on. Please vote for the entire slate and only that slate. It is essential that we concentrate Troy support on the same group of delegate candidates. If you're not on the slate, it's not because we don't appreciate you. This is a team effort and everyone's vote will matter here. We went with the list of people that our best data indicated were likely to support Troy and also be able to attend the convention. We also aimed to make sure that these slates were as diverse as possible. Whether you wind up on the slate or not, please show up. Come and vote so we can elect Troy Jackson to take down Susan Collins. This weekend, counties will hold caucuses to elect delegates to the nominating convention. Some counties will hold on.
What about well-paid wage workers such as doctors or lawyers? The traditional term used for them would be the labor aristocracy. People who work for their wages, but occupy a very privileged social or economic position due to their particular talents or artisanship or whatever else. It's worth knowing all these categories are pretty blurred together these days. The whole point of like the 401k retirement accounts is in part that now everybody has money held in the stock market. Like everyone's economic well-being is tied to the well-being of the market. That wasn't the case up until recently. Up until like a century ago, post-FDR or whatever, if you worked for your wages, you worked for your wages. You didn't directly benefit from anything going on the capital side. Maybe indirectly in terms of like employment or, you know, whatever else. No, my understanding is labor aristocracy is well-read factory workers and such. That is incorrect. No, labor aristocracy doesn't mean you're a factory worker, but you're like well-educated or whatever. It's like aristocracy within labor. It's not really a class distinction necessarily, at least not in the Marxist sense, but it is a social class distinction. At any rate, yeah, no, the middle class has always been, you can tell the difference between people who call themselves the difference between politicians who say middle class versus working class has almost always been like a, not a dog whistle, but it's like an indicator of where their politics are. People like Mamdani and AOC say working class. People like Hillary Clinton say middle class, you know? I think that middle class is like a acceptable colloquial description of people who are working class but well off, but it's not very helpful to understanding why society works the way that it does. Yeah, it's more of a consumer category than a fundamental economic one.
Online caucuses and others will be in person. For virtual meetings, be ready to join early. Find out from your county how early you can join the Zoom meeting. If you pre-registered as a voter...
Are we considering upper middle class different from middle class? Okay, again, as I said, middle class is an ephemeral and unhelpful term. The meaningful distinction is between working class and the owning class, workers and the bourgeoisie, or proletariat and the bourgeoisie, whatever you prefer. That's the meaningful distinction here. That's the important one.
Or delegate, you should receive a Zoom link to join the meeting. Same-day registrations are allowed, but registration and verification will likely end at the stated start time of the caucus. After the meeting starts, there will be a voting link that's sent to voters. If your county is holding a nominating caucus in person, we encourage you to arrive early. If you pre-registered as a delegate or a voter, we expect that you will be able to show up and get signed in easily. After you're through the doors, come see us at the Jackson table for more information. If you did not pre-register for the caucus, the Maine Democratic Party will have a table for registration on the caucus day.
How nice. Well, what matters is that everyone is having fun. This poor lady.
It's not very often a new star is born in the political world, but that's exactly what happened last night during the live debate in Maine.
Conservatives are so desperate for anything to distract from the fact that they are the party of Israel and pedophilia. Like, it's crazy how low the bar has gotten, you know? In the lead up to Trump's run in 2024, they're like, oh, here are these issues of national importance we're focusing on. Now it's like, here's a nobody candidate who pitched their hat into the ring as one of the potential people to replace Graham Plattner in a Senate seat. It's like nothing, you know? It's so, they're so desperate for anything, any bread or circus bullshit to distract people from what's going on. Mark Dice looks like he's made of plastic. Actually, now that you're pointing it out, Mark Dice looks fucked up. Why the fuck does Mark Dice look like that? It doesn't even look like a beauty filter. It's like bad plastic surgery stuff. I swear to God, he didn't used to look like this. Look at him. He looks like Peter Thiel. Waxy. What a hag. Yeah, no kidding. Never rep, folks. Never rep.
And it is. It's horrific. It's sad. I mean, at 26 years old, I had a 3-year-old son. I mean, I can't imagine anyone thinking. And the other thing about this is we don't have to wait. I mean, he was the wrong person. They were after the wrong person, and they shot him. We do not need that type of law enforcement. I mean, that they need to be dismantled because they give us nothing in this country but heartache and racism.
You're off, Shaw.
I am beyond furious about the murder that happened on our streets here.
Did you debate Mark Dice back in the day? I don't remember that.
And that is in part because it reminds me of my own family. My parents were immigrants to this country. They came here to Chicago in the early 1970s. My mom didn't just
do. Once I believe it's the goods to $120,000, they don't have to pay anymore. I mean, they should be paying their fair share and making sure that people have the social safety network that Social Security provides. And that's something that, I'll definitely fight for. I have. I mean, we've seen the federal government actually help bail out pensions across, this country. We can do this and make sure that, lower income people that have worked all their lives, get the benefit of Social Security. And the way we're going to do that is actually scrapping the cat.
Dr. Shaw?
Social Security is one of the crown jewels of our Social Security net.
Remembers trans water? You mean agua? Go to debate moment. Yeah, anyway, Troy will probably win. Everyone in the comments is pro Troy as well. He's the only one doing any organizing for packing the delegates. He's the only serious candidate.